So I want to welcome everybody to SFJAZZ's Fridays at 5. This is going to be some amazing music. Because guess what? It's Terence Blanchard. It's Branford Marsalis. It's Danilo Perez. It's John Patitucci. And it's Brian Blade.
Homie.
You can't miss that. It's going to be terrific. And look who's here.
Ha!
It's Terence Blanchard.
What's up?
And there's Branford Marsalis.
And the great Wayne Shorter.
Yeah.
On the hang.
And Herbie Hancock leading us all.
And there's Herbie.
Over the cliff. Anyway, it's just great to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's great
Great to see you guys too. Really great.
And wait till everybody hears what you guys are laying down.
Well, it was my kind of concert too, because I mean, we just showed up and said, "Hey, how you doing? What we playing tonight?" All right, cool. We had our charts, and the whole gig was just go. You know, we weren't rehearsing. It just happened. So a lot of the stuff that happened in the songs was just, we didn't even know how we were gonna start the intros or anything. We just did it. It was just great. It was fun.
It's totally spontaneous.
Yeah, spontaneous.
It was amazing because just like Branford said, you know, it was scary, but the fun kind of scary. Like we had no idea what was going to happen, but we really kind of fell into that role of like being out in the middle of the ocean and loved every minute of it, you know, because, you know, even though sometimes we swam in different directions, we wound up going in the same direction at some point.
Oh, that's cool. It reminds me of like the word discovery.
Yes.
Right.
See, you guys were explorers, and everything that you were looking at, in a sense, was new.
Right.
Oh,
No, I mean, like discoverers, they know what land looks like, they know what water looks like, but that particular location,
Right.
they don't know that.
Right.
and I also really think, man, you know, when you're playing with that rhythm section, Wayne has been such a great person to inspire us all. We could feel that energy coming from playing with his band, you know.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where you're trying to aspire to something, you know, a certain level of playing and awareness, frankly, you know. So every time Branford took a step, I said, "Where you going?"
That shows the love. I mean, there was so much love that was flowing through that.
Yeah, everybody was really in touch with what we were trying to do, and there was space to even make mistakes and then, you know, just recover from them. It wasn't so orchestrated. It was completely not figured out. And you can actually hear it in the piece. You can hear it in the performances.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, that's the thing I was going to say. Wayne, the thing that you've always done is that you've created music that allows people to just find themselves in the music. You know, it's like, even though I love all of your recordings and I've loved everything that you've done, the music that you created, when we play it, I can't find myself trying to be you. It doesn't work that way. It seems like the music itself pushes you to say, going out there and just find out what's going on and like Herbie said, discover what's happening.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is the lessons learned all the way back from the Jazz Messengers, and then three of us were with the Jazz Messengers, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, back in the day. And even though he had a lot, just a general structure, the thing about getting out there, and he used to be behind us on the drums, playing the rhythm and talking about, talk to the people. Tell me a story, tell them a story.
That was him too.
And that was your solo spot. Tell them a story.
Yeah.
And the story lends itself to now, you know, just doing things without rehearsals.
Right.
Not that's the rule, but
Well, in a lot of ways, that really is jazz to me. Bless you, T.
Yeah.
I mean, that is it.
that's jazz.
All of the music, because I can when I hear it, I can tell cats just, all right, man, let's hit. You know, like you learn the tunes, but you don't like prepare the solos. It's just allowed. It just happens. It just happens. And I mean, all those years we grew up hearing, you know, first of all, for me, unlike a lot of guys, my first relationship with you, Herbie, was Headhunters, and my first relationship with you, Wayne, was Weather Report.
Yeah.
So the drummer, Marvin Smitty Smith, he had a copy of Nefertiti, and he put it on. And I wasn't really sure I was going to play jazz at that time. And I heard that, and I said, oh, my God, who are these people? This is the most amazing stuff I've ever heard. Because, you know, my dad's thing was post-bop, so everything was post-bop. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then Smitty says, oh, man, this is Miles is like last great band with like Herbie Hancock, Wayne Short. And I went, Herbie Hancock from Headhunters? Goes, yeah, man, this is before Headhunters. This is true. You could just, it's like, what? I had no idea. And Wayne, I'd been stealing from Wayne since 73. So, you know, I just said, oh, now there's a whole new Wayne I got to deal with. Because the only, you know, jazzy record I had was the All Seeing Eye, which where you were just going for it. And I was playing in the R&B band. Remember with Kermit Campbell, T?
The Creators.
I was learning all these things off the All Seeing Eye and playing them on R&B tunes. And he's like, man, where are you getting that shit from? Wayne Short, he goes, can I borrow your record? I'm like, no, you don't know. You can't have my record. No, it's mine. But yeah, it was so, I mean, I kind of went the reverse way to get to it. And I spent so many years listening to those records y'all did with Miles, man, saying, man, how is this kind of sound? Because it's like the thing for me is not the data. It's like, how is that sound possible? Because it's like, you guys created such a sound. And I was like, man, I want to have a band that can sound like that. You know, so when we joined Winton's band, that was our whole thing. We got to sound like those cats. Like that was the band. You know, we got to sound like, you know, like not play Wayne's licks, play Herbie's licks. We got to sound like them when we play, and that was the challenge.
You know, that was interesting.
Thank y'all for giving us a roadmap.
Thank you. And you know, that was
hey, Branford, you got it. I heard a great saying from some musician, and she'll be nameless. He said the young musicians today have to learn a lot of stuff, but one thing they have to learn is how to steal.
Guilty.
They said they have to steal from themselves.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't say that.
You steal from yourself.
I didn't say that.
That's
I'd say steal from y'all.
Right.
That thing said, man, it's cool what you're doing.
Right.
Steal your own stuff.
Yeah, but if I didn't have y'all stuff, man, I wouldn't.
When you don't know what you're gonna do.
Right.
I like that.
But the thing that I've learned from you guys the most is to be in the moment. You know, to be present. You know, and that's what we tried to do when we played the concert. You know, man, Branford. I mean, you guys probably know this, but me and Branford grew up. We've been knowing each other since elementary school. You know, that's like he's like my older brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So being on the stage with him, man, it was a beautiful experience because, you know, we don't get a chance to do it as much as we'd love to, and to do it playing your music was just a blessing, man. And it was one of those experiences where, you know, we tried to follow all of the teachings from you guys in every aspect, not just the notes, not just the songs, but the being present, being aware, and trying to allow the moment to come to us.
Yeah, let things happen.
Yeah.
You know, let things happen to you.
Yep.
You know, I'm just listening to like what's the backstory to what both of you are speaking about. In a way, has to do with the relationship between two different generations.
Right.
And that it's the kind of mentor-disciple relationship, you know,
Right.
Where it's very open but not in any way imposing any rules on anybody else.
You know what I have to tell Wayne, I have to tell you this story too. I think it was on, you guys were playing on the Joni Mitchell record. And Wayne was playing a solo, and you just started playing these notes, and with this rhythm, and you kept going back and forth between these two notes. And then, man, when you resolved the phrase, you hit this note that was higher. Man, and I went back, I said, woo, I gotta get that and figure out what that is, man. And when I looked at it, you literally were playing the root an octave above, and then the note that you hit that was higher was a third above. It wasn't no big mystery. It was the way you did it and where you decided to put it. That's the thing that blew me away, man.
Delivery.
That's it.
That picture behind me?
Yep.
That's
Igor.
Igor Stravinsky.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the guy, Tillman in San Francisco, he ran down the Rite of Spring.
Michael Tilton Thomas.
Yeah. And he would say, what he did, Stravinsky took 3 notes and put them together and said, blam, 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 blam. And then he kept going through the score, and all the simplicity that was there sound like, you know, the universe or something like that. And he said he was actually copying people jumping up and down on grapes in the fields and all that stuff.
Right.
But you know, that said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me sit down.
Right. Hey, you know, Wayne, just on that topic, the first time I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, they did these 2 pianists came out and did a concert of the Rite of Spring just for 2 pianos.
Yeah.
It was the best thing I've ever heard because you could hear the piece without the orchestration. It was an amazing experience. That was a big lesson for me because, you know, a lot of times people try to rely on orchestration. It's like, no, the relationship between the lines still have to matter and they have to be strong.
Look at Larry Coryell, Herbie in front of Daisuke Ikeda. He played the Rite of Spring on the guitar.
Really?
Oh.
As much as he could grab, you know, and he did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear that.
It was amazing.
I'd like to hear that. Yeah.
Is it?
Sure.
Yeah, I wish we had a recording of that.
Yeah.
But you know, Rites of Spring, that I mean, it's full of surprises like that. I mean, when you listen to the orchestration and the harmonies, and you expect to see some very like dissonant, advanced relationships with the notes, unexpected, and there's tons of triads, regular, major, and minor triads,
right,
and some diminished.
Yes.
But much of it is just major and minor triads.
right.
But with the instruments that are being played, many of them are played out of at the extreme ranges of the instruments to give it a whole other texture.
Right.
And like, how did he know how to make all that stuff work?
Yeah, his ears were amazing.
Oh yeah.
His ears were amazing.
Yeah, Miles and Gil Evans. Gil Evans said if Miles wanted to play something, write something, he said, but don't put the third in there. He said, see what happens when you without the third. And Miles said, it'll go everywhere.
That's right.
That's something like that. No third.
Wow, that makes sense. You know, it was interesting to me, man, because we talk about this word discovery. And Herbie, I got to go back to that tour because that was the first time that I got a chance to play with you on a nightly basis. And man, I told a lot of people after that tour, I said, man, we were on a 10-week tour. And for the first 6 weeks, I had to take ibuprofen after every show, man, because I had so many headaches trying to just keep up with him mentally, man, because we would do a sound check and we would do extended sound checks, which I loved, you know, because we would play. But the sound check, what we played in the sound check didn't give you any indication about what was going to happen during the show. Right. And it was like that night after night after night after night after night, man. That was such an education.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I use one of your in my improv class. I use on the record that y'all did, the quartet record y'all did with Wynton.
Oh.
I think Wynton played. I think it was "Who Can I Turn To," one of them songs that y'all played.
Oh yeah, one of the VSOP. I mean, the first time that he worked with us.
Yeah. And at the end of the song, because I mean, one was like 19 or 20, and like cadenzas really weren't his strong suit at that point. And the note that he ends on is the minor second of the chord.
Oh.
He ends on the minor second, so I always have him hitting that note, and then I stop the recording and say to the class, "Okay, what's the solution?" And they're like, you know, I say, "Sit at the piano, show me the solution," and they all play all of this stuff. Yeah, you could polytone and this, that, and the other. And then after about 10 minutes, I put it on, and Herbie starts on the tonic and goes up in fourths, and then he lands on the minor second. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
It's like, wow. So that's the difference between a musician and a piano player. So I'll take that with you. It's brilliant, man.
Yeah, I think you know the thing that I love about both of y'all, just living in the world, being human, we have a fear of that, and we try to grab to what it is we know. You know, we try to find security in those things, you know. And the greatest lesson I've learned from you is that being human is to try to be boundless, you know, in the things that you experience, you know. And that was an amazing thing. But
and I was thinking, how many older people have we stood next to on the stage? The oldest one with me was in Norway. I played with Stuff Smith.
Oh wow!
And Don Myers.
Mm-hmm.
When that old, and I met Lester Young up in Canada in the nightclub, and then the bass player who was married to Ella Fitzgerald,
Ray Brown.
Ray Brown
called me to do a concert with him, Carmen McRae on the stage, and had one night at Birdland with John Coltrane, Monday night at Birdland with John Coltrane, and the other band was Cannonball on the night off for Miles. And I'm thinking, the older, not that Train was that old, he wasn't that old.
You know, talking about older musicians, and I just remembered that this was years ago, back in the 60s, and I got a call from Lionel Hampton.
Gates.
Yeah, right. He was asking me if, and I was with Miles, playing with Miles at the time, but he was asking me if I could do a weekend date with Benny Goodman.
Right. Wow.
It turned out I had the time, and I thought, I mean, my first thought was, well, I'm playing with Miles. It's a whole other direction, and you know, that's not what Benny Goodman plays. That's not what I want to do.
Right.
But then I started thinking, wait a minute. I've never played with him before. I've never really played like swing, you know. Right. So I said, yeah, I'd love to do that, you know. And I thought, you know, this is my young mind thinking, oh, I know these harmonies and I know these things, but I have to put these in a drawer somewhere, or I'm not going to be able to use any of this stuff, right? But anyway, when I went out to play with him, that was always a point each night where during Benny's solo, I would just ease something in there just to see what he would do, if he would respond to it. I tried to do it in a way that wouldn't interfere with the flow of the music, but I would add some harmony or something that was like newer than what you might normally hear from his bands. He ate it up. Every time he found exactly what was appropriate. and and so I kept doing it more and more,
Wow.
and he kept
Wow.
killing it. And I had no idea he could do that.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was having fun. I looked at his face; he was smiling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, he was having a good time. So it just taught me a lot. That just because a musician may be from another generation that has another kind of style, it doesn't mean that they don't have the kind of ears that can deal with something that's outside of what I thought was their comfort zone.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
they got a broad zone, and maybe none of it's comfort. You know,
Right.
I like the uncomfort zone personally.
Right. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So that taught me a lot.
Where'd Wayne go? He had enough.
Left for a second. I don't know.
He'll be back.
Well, I had great teachers, and Wayne is one of them.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right? And
Yeah.
Miles is another, and Tony Williams
Yes.
is another one,
Yes.
Yeah.
and Ron.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Right.
stuff that Ron Carter used to do, like nobody was even close to that stuff.
Still not.
You know, and like the ear that Ron has,
Mm-hmm.
and to make the decision, not even conscious, because it's just part of the flow.
Mhm.
You know, to choose whatever, like game. It's almost like a game plan. The word work is hard to apply
Ooh, right.
to
Right.
it.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, at least in my mind, you feel the same way.
Oh,
You know, it's work,
No, it's play. We play.
but
We ain't working.
it's play. I mean, it's we're building. It's like building sand castles or something.
Right. Right. Yeah.
With you know, coming from our childlike nature.
Yeah.
So that's really open, and that's a good metaphor for it, because I think music helps us to bring out our younger self, the part of us that's still learning. You know,
Right.
we should always be learning in life anyway,
Right.
but with the innocence of not knowing what's going to happen next, but
Right.
you have to create the next moment.
Playing football very badly. Is that, you know, but the coach, you know, would always say the whole idea is that you practice on the field during the week,
Mhm.
and on Friday night you play the game.
Oh yeah.
The point is that practice allows you to learn how to react to the situations that you see. Because if you go out there and think, then it's pretty much over.
You know what? I just thought about the word play. It
Mhm.
applies to sports
Yes.
and it applies to music.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
It
right.
doesn't apply. A doctor doesn't play.
You know,
I hope not.
Better not.
I hope not.
They don't play. They better not play. Oh, hey, look! Welcome back.
Their internet went stopped.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
still
okay.
out. I'm actually using the phone on the whatever 4G, 5G, 3G, whatever G it is.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those G's. What's
One
up,
of those
G?
G's. I'm using the phone, but the thing is, I have very little battery. So
I understand.
since I'm here, I just wanted to thank you guys for what you guys are doing.
Yeah, man. I want to
Thank
give
you,
you all my
Carolina.
thanks.
Appreciate it.
Big
Thank you,
time
Wayne.
from the depths of my being. Okay.
A lot of gratitude here.
Love you, Wayne.
Yeah,
Hope
love
you
you.
enjoyed it, man. We had a great time playing
We
you.
love you guys.
Yeah, love you, Carolina, too.
Love you guys so much. Herbie, thank you so much. Terence and Branford, really.
Hey, Wayne, I gotta tell you, we were talking about being creative, and Herbie was talking about, like, you know, thinking, like, you know, being youthful in your process. And one of the things that I was gonna say, Art Blakey always used to say one of the things he always used to say about you, and I really can understand this. He said, Wayne had an imagination of a child.
Hey, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah,
So do you guys.
Oh,
we tried.
trying to follow your footsteps.
We
And that's one
tried.
of the things that I really appreciated about being part of that concert. You know, it was amazing just to to be asked to do it. First of all, that was that was an honor and a blessing just to be asked to do it. But then to do it with such great musicians, man.
Do it with your guys.
Yeah, and
your guys.
Man, let me tell you something. We didn't get a chance to talk about them as much as we should, but those dudes, you know,
that was killing.
Oh, one of the things I tell my students all the time is like, when you play guys like that, be careful what you play.
Like many bodies with one mind, right?
Right.
Exactly. And Wayne, you should have seen Branford. Branford came to the rehearsal with the most obscure Wayne Shorter tunes on the planet. I think he found everything. He had handwritten stuff.
Yeah, I wrote out all the charts. I sent it to everybody. I'm like, no, we playing this.
Oh man, for all of us, we were like, this is our chance to play this music, you know, without somebody saying, why are you playing Wayne Shorter's music? You know?
Yeah, right.
Hey, I wrote one thing called Unidentified Flying Objects. And say, what does that mean? I said, all the notes are unidentified. It's flying all over the place.
There you go.
It's a great place to end actually.
Okay. Sure.
Thank you, Herbie, for setting this up. Appreciate it. Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah, thank you.
Love you. Thank you, T, my man.
Love you too, man.
Love you guys.
Great to play with you, boy. Have a blast.
Yeah. I feel honored to know you guys. I feel honored to be able to call you guys friends, man. It's
That's a triple honor. Yeah. From this side of the fence. Ain't no fence.
Show me that T-shirt, Wayne. Show me that T-shirt.
There you go.
Hey.
Man.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, brothers. Y'all take care.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, everybody.
See you soon.
Thank you.
All right.
You take care.
Bye. Take care.
Hit the end.
Bye-bye.
Bye.